Nobody struck the set again. Nobody gave me a hat. At least they moved the extra chair and the mannequin's gone, so I guess that's a plus. Welcome to the Weekly Protocol. Now, I know you're used to this being on a Thursday, but looks like we're doing this on a Friday. Why? Well, if you can't tell by my voice, which is much better than it was compared to when we normally would film the monologues, there's been a little bit of things going around that, may have prevented me from doing the monologues. And that's called laziness. So I'm sorry that laziness prevailed, but here we are, where we're getting to the monologue, so I can record it to you and bring it to you here Friday on this week's Weekly Protocol. This week we'll be talking about music concerts, and I'll be joined by Trish and Jarrett Edelman. Isn't that fun? It's fun. We're going to talk about all kinds of things concert related. We're going to talk about what's the best kind of venue. Amphitheater, on the beach, in the middle of the woods, someone's basement, maybe a garage, open street, Wawa, I think comes up in the conversation. We'll see. We'll also talk about the longevity. A couple hours, 2 bands, 20 bands, 3 days, a whole week. Throw a little wrestling in the middle of it. I don't know. Let's make it an extravaganza. What is a festival? That's the type of things we'll be talking about this week on the Protocol. Again, sorry that the set wasn't struck. Hate to say it, but some of our cast and crew may have been deported recently because of recent events. And by that, I don't know where Gibby is. Gibby hasn't been here for a while, and who knows? Maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's left the area. Maybe he just, got deported back to wherever geese come from. I think it's Canada. Also, there's a bunch of people in the credits, and I don't know if they've actually ever been on the show. I don't know if, they'll be on the show. I don't know if they're still in the credits. I don't know. A lot of deportations, but nothing to do with anything that's actually happening in the real world. Just giving you some excuse as to why the set's not struck. And again, it's laziness. Anyway, that's going to be for the Weekly Protocol this week. Not ending it, just ending the monologue. So we're going to roll into some credits. My editor, who is me, is telling me there's no other segment this week. So after we get done the ads and stuff that we do for our own projects, we'll see you on the other side of the panel with Trish, Jarrett. We'll be talking concerts and every protocol that goes along with it. This is the Weekly Protocol. I'm the Dace Man. We'll see you on the other side, basement dwellers.
Are you a fan of the Philadelphia Phillies? Want to hear local takes from fellow fans?
Never a doubt, baby. Never a doubt. I knew they were going to be where they're at right now. I knew they're coming in. I'm pretty sure we did talk about how they were taking over the Braves this year.
Well, check out the Jersey Fanatics.
Yeah, if you're sort of fit, go into the center field and just talk to the security guard and see if he can pull you down.
Tyler, Eric, and the Dace Man break down all things Philadelphia Phillies from a South Jersey perspective.
I have a whole theory. I know I told you guys, but I think for every pitch tomorrow, we should just boo them. Every single pitch.
Available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
He's hosted multiple podcasts and shows over the past decade and unlocked his mind for us over the years. Now, he's looking to see why people put up with him. Join Chris, the Dace Man Dace, as he sits down and chats with those who have known him over the years in a new season of the Dacetacular mind called The Dacetacular People. New episodes drop Fridays and are available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Welcome back to the Protocol. This week we're talking concerts, and I'm being joined by Trish.
Feels like deja vu.
And Jarrett.
I drive with no music on.
Psychopath.
You can make
He is a psychopath.
The deja vu joke, because the audience is well aware we had technical difficulties. This is our second attempt trying to film this Protocol.
Is it?
And if there's a third, I quit.
Yeah. Were you on the Protocol?
He was. He's just being a dick.
I don't remember. They all blur together.
Same.
I get angry.
He was.
All the
He was
panelists
just being a dick.
Black out. We're going to be talking about concerts, the venues they're hosted in, the length of the concerts, the value of the concerts, and festivals in general. So first and foremost, I want to talk about venue. So in our area, we've got plenty of venues. We've got beach venues. We've got indoor venues in the city. We've got arenas. We've got a hybrid lawn / venues, stuff like that, amphitheaters. I don't do concerts much myself. We'll start with you. What is your favorite area to go check a concert out at?
I think it's hard because, like, me personally, I love the Fillmore. I like a general admission venue that's indoors. I've been traumatized by outdoor concerts. We don't need to get into that one. Just know that it was a lot, and the concert got canceled before I could see anybody.
She went to Firefest.
No, I did not. I would have rather gone to Firefest at that point.
I think she's talking about the concert where they tried to drown people.
Oh.
So that would be an amphitheater, which is what you mentioned before. And that was an amphitheater in Maryland, which I hate that state to begin with. But long story short, the whole venue flooded because a thunderstorm came out of absolutely nowhere. It wasn't even forecasted. The venue had, something was with the ceiling where it was just pouring water down onto the seats, like the way that they did the ceiling. It was not made very well. On top of that, because the whole venue flooded, you had waterfalls just coming down stairwells. Like, it literally looked like a straight-up waterfall.
Sounds like aesthetically pleasing.
No,
concert.
the whole pit.
Electric wires, as you were
Yeah.
Oh, toasters.
So the whole pit, which is where I was, because mind you, I was barricade for Halsey, and let me tell you, that's not easy. It flooded up to my ankles, and I was also standing 2 inches taller than everybody else because I was standing on the barricade itself. And that stayed there for about 25 minutes until somebody realized the drain was being blocked by trash. The entire time, Halsey had told them that she was not coming out because it was no longer safe for anybody there. And they kept saying it was going to happen until 9:45 at night when they canceled it, and I had to drive home in the same thunderstorm that ruined my night.
So, not a fan of aqua arenas.
Well, like how there's Burning Man. They totally missed the drowning. Just saying.
Drowning
like
pool
that
and
was like
everything.
perfect publicity. Like
Headlined by Drowning Pool.
yeah.
In.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I've had other concerts ruined by the rain too. Like, I'm just not a fan. Like, I understand the thought process of the outdoor venues because you can fit more people, but at that point, you're losing the quality of concert too. Like, when you're at the Bank Center or any amphitheater, when you're on the lawn, you can't see the fucking stage. You're seeing like that. They're like yay big. You're not entirely sure what's going on, and you're usually watching from a screen anyways. That's closer to you. I feel like
So you're saying we could have just stayed home, put on a TV,
probably
been in some jammies, and like nice and comfy.
If it's an amphitheater, usually yes. I don't particularly agree with amphitheater concerts unless I'm inside it.
I prefer amphitheater concerts because I like the ability to roam.
But I get that, like, but you
I don't
prefer,
watch the band.
You prefer a different concert experience than I do. Like, when I'm at a show,
not going.
but like for me, because of that, like I prefer to be. I prefer to be in the crowd and enjoying it and, like, doing things where that's why I don't like the amphitheater or the bigger venues because when you're in the bigger venues, like, you can't do as much as you would in, like, a normal general admission venue. Sure. Like, the general admission that I like, you're fitting maybe 3,500 to 5,000 max.
Yeah, and then coming back to the concept of your concert experience versus mine, you also listen to smaller bands. Not smaller bands, but bands that work smaller venues more so than the ones that I deal with.
Like, you're going to see people who have been around for a very long time, who have a very large crowd and a different age range of people, whereas most of the bands that I am seeing, I will say, we're all generally within, like, anywhere from, like, 20 to, like, 35. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're still pretty old, don't get me wrong, because there have been some old people in those shows, but you can still arguably do the things you want to do in a crowd, like what I do, or, like, sometimes I'll go in the mosh pit, I'll crowd surf, things like that.
What kind of venue do you prefer? Beach, amphitheater, arena,
home,
bed,
Spotify on my AirPods,
his cell phone,
in my car with the music off.
You're still a psychopath for that. I can't.
Don't. This is not that protocol, guys.
No,
this is not that. Guys,
it's been brought up.
It's not that. It's not this protocol.
It's been brought up twice within at least the last month of.
Oh yeah, very true. But no, I enjoy the festival. Like I'm not a concert goer. I'm not like a one-time band goer. I'm not like like they got a good set list this time goer. Like I would like the festival because it gives me freedom to do what I want, when I want, see who I want, see when I want. Like it's way more open. And if I don't want to see anybody and just camp, I can do that.
So you're hitting the nail on one of the conversation pieces here too. Festival versus concert.
Oh, my bad.
No. It's your preference. So
yes.
Therefore you're more open to the venue for camping or a festival where you can roam. When it comes to the festival, what kind of length do you prefer? Do you like a day festival as like the MM Barbecue? Or I did it perfectly this time. Or like the 3-day, was it Firefly?
I was totally wearing that hoodie for like another one that I realized I couldn't wear it.
Okay.
I was like, dang, I have a hoodie for this and I just don't have it.
I apologize.
It says Firefly on it too and everything. But no, I'm definitely a Firefly, like big 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend, extended weekend type of feel. Like anything longer than that, I'm out. Like that's just too much.
Yeah.
probably going to be too expensive too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like the 3-day venue, like the 4-day venue, like great for me was like, hey, you know that like 2 nights out of the thing, you might not like the headliner. So you don't have to stay out until 2 o'clock in the morning. You can pretty much call it quits, 8 o'clock, go to bed, wake up the next morning refreshed and ready to go.
I also think a one-day festival is silly if you have anything more than like 7 or 8 bands. A one-day festival can work if you have like 7 or 8.
I'm sorry, was I finished
I
talking?
thought you were.
I'm done.
Good.
We're back to it now. Back to the important person.
You were done, weren't you?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But no.
Right. See.
No, the festival itself, compared to a concert, are 2 entirely different things. Like, one-day festival is not that. It's a concert. It's not a festival. A festival has to require multiple days.
Not necessarily. Because
No.
The festival is it's not just the concert. There's other
When did I
things going
finish
on.
talking?
We can talk back.
No,
and
we
forth.
cannot.
Yes, we can.
I let you say your piece.
Go ahead.
You let me say mine.
The only point I would contest
That's fine.
on a singular day festival.
Yes.
Multiple stages.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what multiple stages and also festivals.
But like
have
still,
other
I wouldn't
things
call it a
going
festival.
on. I would.
No,
Okay.
it's a concert. It's a day.
Okay.
A festival has to be multiple
This
days.
is coming from the person who likes quiet, so there's that.
I still enjoy noise. I go to Eagles games,
No, I get that.
which
Well,
is, a very rowdy bunch of people.
and awful at spelling.
Actually, we're fantastic.
One word. You've got one word. Sorry, that'll be another protocol.
How to spell?
Spelling at events that aren't your own.
Oh, you're just upset because they say it at Phillies games.
I'm upset they said it anywhere. I was in Fenway.
Yeah.
Dude, Boston.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a protocol for a different person at a different time.
But no, to me, it is just a personal preference that like festivals have to be multiple days because it's a festival. Like it's not a day thing. To me, it's just in my brain. It doesn't work. Festival is not a day. Festival is multiple days. I hate food and truck festivals. It's not. It's a food and truck event. It's not a festival. It's not multiple days of food and trucks coming around and I get to enjoy it for a weekend. No, it's a day. It's not even a day. It's like half a day. It's the same thing with concerts and everything. It's just half a day. It's not a full experience.
But that's not necessarily true, though, like I was saying, because with festivals, it depends on the amount of bands that are playing. You've got festivals where it's like 8 or 9 bands, there's 1 or 2 stages, but there's still other things going on at the festival itself. There's other little things to do.
Yes,
that's the whole
little
point
events.
Right, but that's the whole point of a festival. It's not just the music itself. That's the center, but there is other things to do. So even if you still have a concert where it's only 7 or 8 bands in the festival and it's 1 day long, then that makes sense. But I went to When We Were Young this year, and there was 100 bands playing in 1 day, and they only had 5 or 6 stages, and that's when you run into the thing of, like, it just is, that's not enough time. If you're going to have more than, like, maybe 10 bands in a day play, you need more than 1 day. Because then at that point, you're paying over $100 to see 5 to 7 songs from each band. That's not worth it at that point. Then on top of that, you don't get to do the other things that you want to do within the festival if there were other things to do because you're too busy running back and forth trying to see everybody.
The Oxford Language Dictionary.
Googled it.
Well, I was curious because it is
Right.
a good concept.
Yeah.
Went very neutral on this and said it is a day
Oh, motherfucker.
or
Oxford's
period
stupid.
of
Period.
celebration, typically a religious commemoration.
That's horrible.
You want to act like people who listen to music aren't in a cult?
Oh, some of them are, absolutely.
All right.
I'm not denying that.
The same thing with football. Football's a religion.
yeah.
Same thing with everything.
I didn't say
Music's
it
a
was
religion.
good.
No, music's a religion too.
It is interesting, though, they go on to say, like, an annual celebration or anniversary, so, like, highlights of this year's Pumpkin Festival is an example, or an organized series of concerts, plays, or movies, typically one held annually in the same place. So, to me, an organized series of concerts means multiple days. But I thought it was interesting. They went
You
sweet
could also,
on it.
but they could also argue a series of concerts being multiple artists too.
Yeah, you can't. No, let me Google. We go ahead and debate.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I do like for the
The
most
new
part,
Oxford Dictionary is actually false. I heard they put it up on Fox News, so you know.
Yeah, Fox
Can't
News
trust
is
it.
the most trusted universe.
Get your sources from TikTok. I heard that is the most reliable thing moving forward from
That's
now on.
dead. It is dead.
But,
Since when?
3 weeks ago.
but I will agree.
What have I been watching?
I'm a time traveler from the future, and I'm telling you, everybody just did nothing. And it died on its own.
What do I do when I poop?
I believe
It's like
there was a guy in one of the episodes that said use Facebook Reels.
Oh, but also I do know that like it's actually kind of relevant because TikTok used to be called Musical.ly.
It did.
Was it really?
It was a music. It was a
It was a music app.
I honestly didn't know what any of that.
For the guy who listens to no music in the car, he knew what it was.
It used to be like a lip syncing app. Like they would do they would be different like things like that. Because TikTok only used to be able to be like it was almost like Vine. I think the longest you could have a TikTok was like 15 to 30 seconds at first.
It's a long time.
Well, I remember Vine, and then I remember Vine dying.
Yeah.
And then TikTok.
Well, no, it just ended. Like Vine was just like, we're here, 6 seconds, amazing, done.
Yeah.
Well, I think WWE invested in it, and they went, no, we're done.
Well, I mean, they might have, but like also there was no forewarning.
But yes, back to the point of I think if you're gonna have more than 6 or 7 bands, it needs to be multiple days for you to get anything more than just a couple of the most popular songs out of a band. If you want an actual good set that's going to be a decent length of time, you need multiple days. Also, I think, again, you want to be able to enjoy yourself and not have to run around like crazy. That's going to be the only way you can do it.
I don't know. It's fun running around like crazy.
I don't know.
So, I would say there was
I got a janky foot and a janky back.
We were at Firefly. We were at Firefly, and we found out that DJ Jazzy Jeff was playing. We ran
everywhere.
It might have been, but this was 2017.
Yeah.
We ran the entire length of the festival to get there.
And it's a lot.
Wait, hold on. For Jazzy Jeff?
We were like...
The guy Uncle Phil threw out the damn front door all the time?
Yeah.
You had to run to see him?
Because then all of a sudden he started playing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Naturally, that's his claim to fame.
Oh, yeah, but like, you know how enjoyable that is when you're drunk?
So Firefly itself...
But not to run.
Firefly itself, like,
I was in shape.
You have to, like, walk to, like, a decent distance between any of the stages. Like, they're not right next to each other. They're, like, you walk through the woods.
Okay.
Yeah, Firefly had an interesting looking setup.
Well, when it comes to festivals, because we're kind of going through, like, a step-up transition here. We started with concerts, went to festivals, and I want to continue on festivals, is the fact that other offerings that happen there. So for me, as a guy that just likes to listen to the music and not necessarily watch the presentation, there are a couple artists I will watch. Weird Al, Lady Gaga. They put on a show. I've been to both. It's fine. Let it go. Move on.
Kesha's a good one, too. Just saying.
Yeah, anyone who puts on a stage performance, though, it's interesting.
I think that could be argued with Warped Tour, because what everyone forgets is Warped Tour started out as a music and skate festival. So for years, yeah, it did though, but it did.
But like the late 90s and early 2000s sucked.
But it wasn't even just early 2000s. It went almost past 2010, I would say.
I'd give anything to be in the late 90s again.
But the whole point of Warped Tour was a music and skate festival. It was music and sports. So like
everything in the 90s revolved around fucking skateboarding.
But when you were there, what it wasn't just skate, it was like
everything.
It was like
Jackass,
exports or whatever.
Fucking music
but
festivals.
they not just the stages set up. They had a half pipe and they would do like displays and stuff, and they had well-known athletes there too. Mm-hmm. So like that's one of those ones where you are going for more than one reason. And with Warped Tour, there was always more things to do. You had opportunities for meet and greets. You could play games to win free prizes. Mm-hmm. You could buy other things, because not just merch for bands were there. Like there was charities there. There was people selling their own stuff. Like that was more of a festival than most of them, because you had a lot that was happening.
And that's one of the interesting parts that I think the MMRBQ tries to keep in our local area, which is the Day Fest, where it kind of goes through and they have like their tattoo artist alley.
Yes.
They have their the DJ karaoke booth that they do off one of the side. Like they have their own little special events. When it comes to festivals, because you seem very fond of Firefly, what's one of the things that lure you into? What's one of the things that lure you into the festival outside of the music?
You get space. Like that is a huge thing for me now, especially like after COVID. I guess even before COVID, but like really after COVID, made me realize how much I don't want to be around people. So like a festival is kind of cool. Like you can be near the stage. Like the stage is here. Here's like the entire crowd. You can be back here.
Yeah.
And you can still listen to it. Like I was in an air hammock, little blow up thing. Blew it up. I was laying down. Amber was laying right in front of me. We were just chilling, listening to Tame Impala. One of the best concert experiences I've ever had. Just because, like, you're in the atmosphere. You can hear the crowd. You can see the crowd. But you're not getting pushed by the crowd.
Okay. And it's nice because sometimes you end up discovering people that you would have never listened to before, because you're doing nothing. Like there have been a couple of times where it was between, especially at Warped Tour alone. Like I was between bands that I wanted to see, and all of a sudden I just hear something, and next thing I know, I'm listening to a band that I didn't really know that I had ever liked before.
Rainbow Unicorn Surprise.
Right.
You guys killed it the year I was there in Firefly. I enjoyed every minute.
Shut up.
I remember. You remember?
But he's right though with the space thing, because when I was at Firefly myself, I was up closer and I was trying to see All Time Low, and I turn around and the person in front of me just bends over and starts doing cocaine right in front of me. And I was not a fan of that. I didn't really want to be around that.
But she was not invited.
Wait, no, were you not a fan of it because of the cocaine, or were you not a fan of it because they bent over and they did not have a good
The
butt?
cocaine.
Oh.
I
Both.
I have my
Well,
personal
you know,
reasons.
she might not like the butt. I don't know. You never know.
No, they didn't bend over. They got down. They literally got down on their knees and pulled out their car key and started ripping cocaine. It made me uncomfortable for multiple reasons. Most of them were personal, but it was nice to. My friend saw what was going down. No, it's not. My friend saw what was going down. She saw how uncomfortable I was, and she looked at me and said, "Do you want to move over? Do you want to go find another spot?" And we were able to not only go find another spot, but find a spot that was still just as good as where we were, so I could enjoy the band I wanted to see comfortably. And then we walked away, and then we were able to go towards the back and watch the rest of the people that we wanted to watch, while we could still see the stage, still hear it really well, and still enjoy it without being surrounded by a bunch of idiots.
But I was just say what this year was Welcome in America for Wawa's thing. Technical difficulties, but no, it was Welcome to America for Wawa's festival. I would still call it a concert just because to me it was you were stuck in one spot. You couldn't really go.
Definitely.
But there were other events going on around it. But that one,
4th of July weekend.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
that one's poorly planned in my opinion.
Yes.
They did it horribly. They set it up for where if you can get into the pit area, which you either had to be a Wawa employee, or there was another set of people who had a separate
weren't
section.
Supposed to be.
Whether or not they were or weren't, they
Well,
were doing it.
I had gone the previous year, so remember where that barricade was?
Yeah.
That was where everybody else who didn't have a Wawa wristband wasn't supposed to go past.
Oh yeah, they were letting people through.
They did. They accidentally let a bunch of people through, and those people were taking over spaces that were meant for the Wawa people, so the people who were supposed to be there were getting screwed because somebody fucked up and opened the barricade.
But even if they didn't do that, the finite amount of space that they had for that pit area, for the amount of people that they knew were going to be at this event, for how hot it eventually got at the event, I saw people passing out, and I saw people throwing up. I saw the worst of the worst happening of people just drinking as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there was alcohol being served there.
I mean,
and then so you had all the worst parts of anything where you can't get out of that area, and if you got out of the area, you were not allowed back in. They could cut you off.
Wasn't that the whole problem with the Travis Scott concert too?
No, that was way worse. That's a whole other thing.
I don't know that.
Isn't that the one where people died?
No,
was too close?
So the Travis Scott problem that happened with Astro World was their security basically there was too many people and too many tickets sold and too people trying to sneak in, and security was not prepared for what happened, so they basically just bum rushed the entrances. And then we're just rushing the stage. Now, the problem is Travis Scott was just letting it fucking happen. Any good artist worth their merit, if they see something happening in the crowd, they stop the performance and they make sure it gets handled. Travis Scott just kept performing through it. Every single time I've been to a concert, anytime someone...
Well, you haven't been to a concert worth their merit, though.
Travis Scott is not worth anything.
Whoa. I think he's worth a lot more than all of us combined.
I don't know anything about him, but except for the
money-wise, he might be, but personality-wise, he is not.
And he showed up on Raw and smoked a blunt on Netflix.
That's pretty cool. He's got some personality. He's worth something.
Triple H's response was, "Thank God Jey Uso didn't take a hit."
Oh, that would have been great.
It would have been great as a fan.
Yes!
As a company, I think Triple H was like, I'm going to fire a guy. Because that goes against our drug policy right there.
Was that? Oh, the yes was not him, was it? I don't know WWE.
Isn't Jey Uso's Yeet, right?
Yeet. He was yes.
Hey, I knew that!
Daniel Bryan.
That was the wrong one.
That was about 10, 15 years ago, too.
But with Travis Scott, that was more just, he didn't seem to care about the fans, the security guards didn't seem to care about the fans, and nobody was trying to stop it or help anybody.
Sounds very similar to what you were kind of explaining with the Wawa.
Yeah, no.
Well, not Wawa particularly, but the whole event that you're getting funneled into a tight area and then not really managing
that's
well.
the Philly cops, though, because I went to the Wawa thing the year before, and a woman decided that she didn't want to wear clothes anymore. So
no arguments?
No.
Free the nipples.
No.
Free the nipples.
So here's the problem.
We're feminists here.
No.
Free body except the ugly ones? Is that what I'm hearing?
Here's the problem.
Even the ugly ones.
It wasn't the ugly thing. It wasn't ugly or that.
No ugly ones.
It was the artists are Demi Lovato and Ludacris, and during Ludacris, she decided to get up on her chair in front of kids, parents, families, not just her friends, take off all of her clothes, and all she was wearing was rope.
It sounds like a health class.
It was disgusting. And then she was shaking her ass and her vagina in people's faces who didn't want it. And I had to go get the cops.
Consent, so you're a snitch.
Yeah,
oh my God,
absolutely, because I did not.
And she just admitted to being a snitch.
I don't care. I didn't want to see that woman's vagina.
You got arrested. It was this chick's fault.
Yes, and I hope you're happy.
She's probably not.
Was she hot?
I don't know. All I see was her
Okay.
ass.
Well,
Was it a good
ass?
butt?
No.
Was it an old ass?
I don't
I
know.
need details. You can't just bring up a naked woman on the show and then not describe
I
the
can
naked
when I
woman.
didn't even want to see it to begin with.
We
I saw it
wanna
against my
see it.
will. That sucks.
Anyway, at festivals.
Yeah, but on top of that too, with like the space to move, that's also where you run into problems too, because like a lot of the festivals now, one of the things they're doing that isn't good and I don't like is they're making you pay more to be in closer spaces too. So like a lot of the festivals have the VIP where.
Well, they put the closer spaces closer to the stage, too.
Well, some did and some didn't. Like, when you have VIP, usually it's off to the side, but it's closer. But when we were young, they had everybody in the front be VIP, but that's not always conducive to the right crowds, in my opinion. Like, I was, when we were young, they told us to crowd surf, but I crowd surfed into the VIP section, and nobody was there to catch me, because I crowd surfed over a barricade, and the people in that section had to catch me, because there wasn't as many people there as the rest of the crowd behind it because of that barricade, because people didn't want to pay for it. So I think you run into problems with that environment, because now you're catering to people to your own wallet instead of the actual like vibe of the music and the crowd that it would have been.
Well, that might be a festival thing, but concerts have changed. Because
Right.
I can say about 2 years ago, Harry Styles put on a concert at MSG, which apparently is a prestigious concert venue.
The venue itself is very historic.
You
I
won't
know.
catch me there.
But I went there with my fiance. She waited out in the streets of New York City with a bunch of other crazed Harry Styles fans. Well, I slept soundly in a hotel bed.
I wouldn't fuck with him.
But she waited in line. We got barricaded to flex on all the people who love Harry Styles. Because, like, it's, for me, it's music, and I listen to none while driving. But I was barricaded for it, and I got water thrown on me by Harry Styles, which also apparently it's like baptism. And I was like, this is gross. It's backwash.
Yeah, I wouldn't want other people.
Yeah, no, but it was disgusting. But my fiance loved it. She's like,
Then again, I have
But
a
with,
John Cleese grandpa.
but with that, at the end of the day, you were paying for that. You knew what you were doing and everything like that.
He didn't. His girlfriend knew what they
Either
were
way.
doing.
Fiance.
He
Fiance,
paid
sorry,
either way.
fiance.
Yeah.
He
Girlfriend
paid-
at the time.
The point is,
yeah, true.
that's stuff that you would expect to happen within that crowd. And
Nope, I did not expect to get water thrown on me.
Okay, well, I do.
I was kind of taken back by that.
I would have known that was happening. My argument, but the point
I was
is,
not
is, like,
ready.
with the festivals now, they're catering more to how much money they can make off of you, and they're forgetting the crowd that they're selling to also. Like, I could understand if they still wanted to do the VIP, but they forget that you have people who are doing things in a crowd. Like, crowds like that, they don't just stand still anymore. At least not for the bands that I'm seeing. Harry Styles is a different, like, you don't really get a lot of crowd surfers or mosh pits with Harry Styles.
You'd be surprised.
I'm not denying that.
I started a mosh pit of my own.
That's why I said a lot.
No, I'm just joking.
I didn't say none, I said a lot. But like the people,
not many people would have survived if I
I would
started
have
them.
paid to see that
Me
if you
too.
just plowing through a bunch of teens.
I had a tank top on that said,
I promise you, they were all grown adults.
a bunch of females.
Yeah.
oh, but it was funny. Like the album is called Harry's House.
Yeah.
My tank top that my fiance bought for me said, "Who's Harry and why are we going?" Or who the fuck is Harry and why are we going to his house? Like, and he was staring at me like half the time, and I'm like, it might be the shirt.
You should have just literally like, who are you? Just kept mouthing it.
I might
Who
have
are you?
also been an attractive man that he was like looking at. Like, who knows?
Do you want to go? Like, you should just started mouthing things to him to see like.
But-
Maybe it could have worked.
But arguably, the point is, everybody who paid for that section besides you knew that those things could happen. Whereas you,
Possibly.
but that's how it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna debate you on that because
there are other boyfriends or fiancés like me there too.
Nobody expected crowd surfing at the Hooters, so we
Okay.
shot people up in the air
But
on that
the-
one,
But my point
Way to
is
do things that are unexpected at
Yep.
concerts.
The point that I'm saying is
and then retire.
with most of the festivals, because nowadays most festivals, like a decent majority of them, they are a rock festival. They have that stuff going on in the crowd, and they're not thinking about the fact that people do that stuff. They're just thinking about how they can make the money, and then people end up getting hurt.
See, but well, a lot of people got kicked in the head by Gibby. So, the Hooters are what you would call soft rock, I would say.
Yeah.
They're very.
Wait,
Who would you
we're not
compare them
talking
to?
about the wing place.
No, well, they're probably more hardcore than the band that we were.
Who would you
crowd surfing
compare them to?
God, every band that's coming to my head, you probably don't listen to.
You'd be surprised.
Grateful
Yeah,
Dead.
Okay.
Kind of like that. It's a
I've
mellow.
heard of them.
It's like a mellow.
They're like a jam band?
Yeah.
Fish.
Okay.
They're not a crowd surfing band.
No, I get that.
So, I'm just saying, not everybody knows the rules.
See, that reminds me of like you've seen Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
When like Rob Lowe is like trying to dance to the songs that like nobody's ever danced to, and he's just in the middle, like just throwing his arms around. Yeah, that's all I can imagine.
The Elaine, all that stuff.
Oh, the kicks, the little.
Yeah, that was us. My cousin George, who was a lot larger than me.
Was he also balding and having midlife crisis?
You know what?
I'm just going with the Seinfeld. George.
No, he wasn't that short. He's a bigger dude. Decided Gibby was going up.
That's funny.
And he tapped my shoulder and said, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Of course." And that's when Gibby had long hair and he wore sweatpants all the time. And
Gibby had long hair?
Yeah, he had like Jesus hair.
Google Charles Manson. You'll see what he got.
Gotcha.
We threw
I'll look
him
that
up
up
in the
later.
air, and then he just started kicking everybody's head. It's also the same time we dropped one of the radio personalities that work at MMR, Nick McElwain.
Funny enough, Allie also crowd surfed for the first time against her will.
At Hooters?
No. I think we were seeing either the main or all-time low, and I had just gone up, and she was like debating it, so I looked at the three guys in front of her, and I said, hey, she wants to go. And before she could argue, she was in the air.
Yeah, the moment you said
so you're a piece of shit friend.
Absolutely. No, because she loved it.
I am. Gibby had
I'm near some piece of shit friends here. I have never thrown someone willingly into the air without their will.
She had no. It was so funny. All of a sudden, I said, "Hey, she wants up," and before she could argue, these dudes just lifted her and tossed her.
So all I know is to not go to a concert with you because traumatization.
Oh, I haven't gone to a concert with Gibby since. It could be related. It's probably not related. And that's not true too, because we saw Backstreet Boys together. Anyway.
Not the band I was expecting here.
Well, okay. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, that's going to do it for us this week on music concerts and festivals. Let's go around the table, see what everybody's got going on. Trish, what you got going on?
Music and concerts.
Sherry, what you got going on?
We got some streams, either probably out by now or coming up, with me doing some indie game reviews off of Game Pass on Jarrett Games on Twitch, and or some nice collaboration streamings with BPP on just the group just being in groups and just playing some stupid games and being silly.
We've been averaging since this recording about 3 streams a night, or 3 streams a week.
I was like, a night? Holy crap.
We did two yesterday.
Yeah, we did do 2 yesterday.
It could be a thing by the time this
Brett
airs.
Doug Michaels
of Poison's fame is now on our stream. BasementProtocolProductions.com for everything we do. Facebook.com/BasementProtocolProductions where you update you on what we do.
The whole place. If you turned around, the stairs looked like waterfalls, and I mean rushing waterfalls. Third time's a charm?
Let's try again.
Wait till the toilet goes.